Your future paycheck is already spent. The math says millions of people will never get what they were promised. For decades, pensions were sold as a guarantee. Work for 40 years, retire in comfort, collect what's yours. It was the ultimate social contract. But here's the dark truth. The system was built on unrealistic assumptions, political lies, and financial risks no one wants to admit. This is the pension time bomb, and when it explodes, it won't just hit retirees, it will shake entire economies. After World War II, governments and corporations faced a massive question. How do you take care of the millions of aging workers who spent their lives building nations? The answer was pensions. Defined benefit plans promised workers a steady income for life once they retired. The math seemed simple. As long as investment returns averaged around 7 to 8% per year, there would always be enough money to pay everyone. Workers outnumbered retirees by 5 to 1, so contributions kept flowing in. For a while, it worked. Baby boomers paid in, companies invested the money, and retirees collected their checks. But this entire system relied on two assumptions: that markets would always deliver high returns, that the ratio of workers to retirees would stay stable. Neither turned out to be true. By the 1990s, cracks began to show. Populations were aging. People were living longer, which sounds like a miracle until you realize it meant decades more payouts. And as inflation and interest rates fell, the safe investments pensions relied on, government bonds, no longer provided enough yield. Here's the shocker. Today, global pensions are underfunded by over $50 trillion. That's larger than the GDP of the entire United States. The promises made decades ago were mathematically impossible to keep. So how did we get here? The crunch comes from three forces colliding at once: demographics, financial repression, and market crashes. Demographics. In the 1960s, there were plenty of workers supporting each retiree. Today, in many countries, the ratio is closer to 2 to 1 and falling. In Japan, it's even worse, almost 1 to 1. That means every worker is essentially supporting a retiree through taxes or pension contributions. Financial repression. After the 2008 crisis, central banks slashed interest rates to near zero. For ordinary people, it meant cheap mortgages. For pension funds, it was a nightmare. They relied on bonds paying 5 to 7%. Suddenly, those same bonds yielded 1% or less. Imagine promising someone a paycheck for life, only to discover the tools you counted on to generate that money stopped working. Market crashes. 2008 wiped out trillions in pension wealth. Many funds never recovered. In 2022, another brutal blow hit as both stocks and bonds, the two pillars of pension portfolios, fell at the same time. Private pensions reacted by closing or cutting benefits. Public pensions leaned on taxpayers. But either way, ordinary people carried the cost. Case studies show that Detroit's bankruptcy in 2013 slashed pensions for thousands of city workers. In Greece, during the 2010s debt crisis, retirees saw their pensions cut again and again under IMF austerity rules. The supposed guarantee of dignity in old age collapsed overnight. Here's the question nobody wants to answer. What breaks first? The benefits, the payouts, or the system itself? When you strip away the politics, pensions only have three options left. None of them are good. Option 1. Cuts. Reduce benefits, raise retirement ages, pay people less than promised. We see this everywhere. France erupts in protests every time the government raises the retirement age. Illinois is drowning under unfunded pension liabilities that threaten the entire state budget. Option 2. Inflation. Keep paying the promised amounts, but destroy their value through inflation. On paper, the check arrives every month. In reality, it buys half as much. This is the silent theft of pensions, and it's already happening. Option 3. Taxes. Governments can hike taxes to fund public pensions, but that simply shifts the burden onto younger workers, who already face unaffordable housing, student debt, and stagnant wages. It's generational warfare disguised as accounting, and the truth is, politicians rarely admit the scale of the problem. Instead, they kick the can, piling more promises on a system already buckling. But here's the uncomfortable truth. All three options, cuts, inflation, and higher taxes, hit ordinary people, not elites. It's tempting to think of pensions as abstract, billions here, trillions there, just numbers on government spreadsheets. But behind those numbers are real lives. A retired teacher forced to go back to work because her pension was slashed. A factory worker watching his monthly check lose half its value to inflation. A family crushed under higher taxes to pay for promises made long before they were born. The pattern repeats, again and again. In 2008, millions lost homes, savings, and security. Wall Street bonuses survived. Ordinary workers didn't. That's the pension system in one sentence. Profits privatized, losses socialized, and the stakes today are even higher. Because this time, it's not just a city like Detroit or a country like Greece. It's the entire global system. So what is the pension system really? It's not a safety net. It's a bet that markets will rise forever, a bet that demographics will never change, a bet that governments will always keep their promises. But history shows us something different. Promises can be broken, money can be inflated away, and empires built on bad math always collapse. The pension system is no different. It is a time bomb, and the timer is already ticking. The pension promise was supposed to guarantee dignity in old age. Instead, it became one of the largest unfunded bets in history. The truth? The time bomb is already ticking, and unless something changes, entire generations will pay the price. If this gave you a new perspective, don't just scroll away. Hit subscribe. This is Economic Chronicles, where history exposes the present, and the future is written in the lessons we refuse to learn.